good afternoon. Well, this is kind of the continuity of the conversation we had yesterday, because Christian told me that he doesn't want to be asked the same questions, and today I'll try to let the conversation go in a topic we have not discussed about much yesterday, which is the topic of the grief and the mourning of the dead. And I guess I read somewhere in an interview you made, I don't know if it was for the KE or something, that there is this story of the Grimm brothers about the child, the dead child. In Portuguese, I guess the translation is with a shroud.
I think it's a woman told me this morning there is a Portuguese word for this shirt what the dead are wearing when they're in the coffin. I think it's something with mort something.
Mortalha.
Mortalha. Yeah. So there's a very small tale by Gebrüder Grimm. I have 2 children, and I have to read them the whole tales of Gebrüder Grimm when they are very, very young. 2, 3, 4.
It means in the original versions, but because you're German, because in some translations they were adulterated.
Yeah, that's right. But in the original versions, the German versions, and when you are reading Gebrüder Grimm tales to the children, you have to scan the next page with one of your eyes, because there are so many violent things, raping, they're cutting fingers, and so on. And so, but there is one small tale. This tale, just das Totenhemdchen. This is the German word. It's about a mother whose daughter died, and the grief of the mother is so strong that each evening she prepare the dinner for this little daughter, and the daughter is coming out of the grave in her death shirt, yeah, and sitting there at the table and eating her dinner, and then she's leaving the mother back to the grave each evening, and after 4 or 5 days, the daughter says to the mother, you have to stop this with the dinner, and you have to stop your grief, because I want to go to heaven, and you are stopped my way to heaven. Yeah? So this was one of the tales. This gives my children a crisis for more than 7 days, yeah? Because they thought people can come out of the graves like in Stephen King stories. Yeah? But this, I like this story, because the tales of Gebrüder Grimm, they're made after the big civil wars in Europe, yeah? And there are so many traumatic things happen to people, and in all these tales they have an education to learn something, to stop your grief, to live on, to live with your traumatic things on. And I was very impressed by this story, and I think cinema has more to do with myths and tales and songs and ballads than with literature. Yeah, I don't like to go to I don't want to see a bestseller movie. I prefer a Gebrüder Grimm story in cinema.
But about grief and mourning, there's also the Japanese. Kiyoshi Kurosawa made a film about this. It's called something like On the Other Shore or something. Yeah. Because they in Japan, they think the dead only die when they die for a second time, and that leaves the dead free and leaves the family free from the grief. Okay. And they call that evaporation. And it's something similar to what happens here. Yeah, that's right. The mother needs the daughter to die for a second time, so she replaces Laura for her daughter, and it's when she leaves for the second time that we see in the end the family again together, having their eggs and coffee, and Emily Dickinson has a poem on trauma. It's called I think the line is more or less this: first chill, then stupor, and then the letting go. When you are so you are more detached from the grief, and it's I think it's what happens in the film.
You're totally right. You are really well prepared for this discussion. Yeah? I have a sleep in the afternoon, and you are preparing yourself. Now I have to fight. Yeah? You're right. This is something. But the other thing was that I'm a big I'm a Hitchcock fan, I must say, and the Rebecca movie by Hitchcock was a little bit something this movie starts with. There in Rebecca for Hitchcock, there is a young woman is coming to a house, and in this house someone died, and she is the substitute for this dead person, this dead woman. But there is a gouvernante, or what's a gouvernante? Is the right word?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The gouvernante who loved the dead person, and she hates the new one. Yeah, and so Hitchcock and Truffaut in their fantastic interview about Rebecca, Hitchcock said he learned everything in German, in the German cinema of the 20s. Yeah? And someone who gives you fear, you never see him walking. He's like parents, like my parents when I was very young. They're there. Yeah? They don't come closer. I open the door, my father is there. It's like this, like my father was a little bit like Nosferatu, yeah? And so Rebecca, yeah, this gouvernante is a little bit like Nosferatu, and I like this idea. And we watched this movie, Rebecca, together with the actors, and Barbara Auer was very interested, yeah? And so she's doing a little bit like this in this movie too. I think mothers, you need them and you hate them the same moment. Yeah. So, and for example, when she's waking up in the night, yeah, the first night when she's in the bed, Laura in the bed, and she's waking up, there is this night watch by the mother. But we do it a little bit like, it's also a little bit like if she wants to murder her or something like this. So you have you have both sides in this movie. And this comes from Nosferatu and Rebecca and Hitchcock and comes into this movie.
Mm-hmm. And that, the film, and that we spoke a little about yesterday, about repair, and even the profession of his husband is a mechanic.
A mechanic, that's right, yeah.
And in the end, also Laura is because she recovers from her depression, and so the film starts with her opening the door but very depressed, and then when she opens the door in the end, she's kind of glowing and with the curtain.
Yeah, she's independent and she's adult, a little bit like this, and we do a little trick in the sound because we have shot this movie last autumn in Brandenburg near Berlin. September until the 10th of October. In this time, all the birds in Germany are collecting. They're not collecting. They're meeting there because they want to go to the south because the winter is coming. It's a very sad thing to hear those birds because they go away into the south and we have to stay in this shit, ugly Germany. Yeah, and but we can hear the sound of these birds the whole time through our shooting. Mm-hmm. And I like this sound, yeah? And also the sound the sound engineer liked it. And at the end we put it a little bit, these birds into the sound so she starts smiling a little bit about that. This time was not so bad for her because she had learned something about herself and to be independent. Yeah? This was I forgot the question.
The question about she kind of so she recovered about repair.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, the repair thing. I have two kids and friends of the kids, and they're radical left. Yeah? And they said to me when they have read the script, "You have made such fantastic political movies. Where is this? This is not a political movie. And I said to them, yes, it's a political movie, because in the last years, yeah, we have fascist structures in the world, and the fascists they don't like to work with complexity. Yeah, they want to, when they have problems with migrants or escape refugees and so on, they build up walls. They like to make a tabula rasa in the world. They want to destroy everything. They want to have a desert and rebuild something. Or they want to go to the planet Mars to rebuild a new society or something like that. And to repair means that you have to understand the complexity, to repair it. And this is a political issue, I said to them. I convinced them, I think so, yeah? But they never talked about this item anymore with me.
Now we can open up to the audience.
I wanted to ask that, from what I understood, I don't know if, I haven't been able to confirm, but from what I understood, the ending was reshot, is that correct? I don't know if you discussed that yesterday or not. It's a pretty big deal, and I was wondering if you could comment around the process. I don't mean the actual process of doing it, I mean the process that preceded it, like building up to it, the decision, because it's you know, it's very big. It's a very big deal, and I really, you know, as a creator, I wanted your perspective on that. Thank you.
Yeah, I have to answer. In the script, what I have written was a complete other final scene. The last sentence in the script was, the scene in the script was like this: the family is going back to after the concert to the house, and they're eating eggs and drink coffee at the porch. And you know, in the movie, sometimes they stood up very, very fast because the bad neighbors are coming, like in the David Lynch movie or so. Eh? But this time they go up because she's standing there, comes back from the concert with a bag, and she opens the door, yeah, from the fence, and she comes to the family, and this was my happy end. And the sentence in the script was, she opens the door and she enters the room of the family. The end. This I've written down, and I was very pathetic. I thought this was one of the best sentences I ever have written in my life. Yeah. And then some months before shooting, the young actors, Enno and Paula Beer, wants to speak with me, discuss, and I hate that when actors want to speak me privately to discuss something with the script. I have problems and so on. It's not my job to declare that and explain something. And but I know I like them so much, and they're friends a little bit, and then so they came to my office, and they asked me about this final scene. They don't understand. They didn't understand this final scene, and so I have no. I said, I'm sorry, this is the best final scene I've ever written in my life. Yeah? Do you want a tea or a coffee? Yeah? So this was my reaction. Yeah? And so they were impressed by me, yeah? And they had left my office. And then half a year later, when we shoot the final scene, I know in this moment something is wrong. Yeah? But I can't explain it really. And then later at the editing table, I know it was wrong. I come home to my wife and said, I make something very wrong. I'm on the beginning of depression, the first time in my life. I fucked up a movie and so on. Yeah? And she said, and then you have to make a new final scene. I can't do this, the producer, we have no money, and so on. Yeah? And then first I have to know what happened wrong. What was the wrong? And the wrong idea was, it's something to do with these political things, tabula rasa and the walls and the Trump and the fascism in the world. And so I want to harmonize the word a little bit. So when she's come back, the family is completed. Yeah? This I think it's a wish and a desire by me, but it's a wrong wish and a wrong desire. Because why? She had to be independent at the end. This is the happy end, and the family has to live with the grief and the mourning. Yeah. So this is this, why I haven't seen this. And then it was December, and I have long walks through November and December days in Berlin, and thinking about my mistakes. And then we have made the decision to make the final scene again with Paula Bear, and I give her a call, and she was a little bit proud. Yeah, I must say, I don't like this, but I understand her. You want to make a new film? So like this was a little bit like this, and then we make. As you said, there's one problem. I'm pregnant, 8 months. Yeah, so, but I just want to see her face, and you can see in her. I think when you see the final scene, and we have made everything again like at the beginning. The same curtain, the same light. This sound a little bit. Variations of the sound, but I think now also Paula Bear is independent. It's not only Laura, it's also Paula Bear, and you can see it in her face, and I think her independence gives her beauty. Yeah, and when we edit the final scene, this was a feeling of totally comfort, because I have the feeling she doesn't needs me anymore. Yeah, she doesn't need me anymore. She's by her own. And therefore, her smile in her face, just a smile in her face. It's a smile. It's not for the audience. It's not for me. It's for herself. And this, I think, was the better happy end. But it was a long way, and I just only talk about when she's not here in the audience.
Otherwise, you will smile.
Yeah.
Okay, further questions?
And congratulations for the film. It was really wonderful. I was wondering, where does the name of the film come from?
The name
Thank
of
you.
sorry. The name of the film is coming from this piece of music by Maurice Ravel, Miroir number 3. This is the final piano music she's playing there in the concert. It's her music.
Une barque à l'océan. Une barque dans l'océan.
Yeah.
A ship in the ocean.
Yeah, a ship in, Le Barque sur l'Océan, a ship in the ocean. And I had heard this music, this Maurice Ravel piano piece, during my work on the last movie, Roter Himmel, I don't know the word, A Fire was the title. And I talked about with the actors of this movie about this music, because it's a little bit, Maurice Ravel, this music, they are a little bit like paintings. And there's a story inside. You can hear the ship, you can hear the ocean, you can hear that this ship is wrecked, yeah? It's drowned, and survivors are on the surface of the ocean, and pieces of the ship are on the surface of the ocean. And I think cinema mostly has something to do, is mostly a portrait of survivors at the surface of an ocean who try to build up a survival raft. This is the metaphor for me. And therefore I like this piano music so well, and we choose it. Paula Bear, she can play piano, but this is too hard to play for her. Therefore we need another piano player who worked together with her for 4 weeks, so she can pretend to play this. Yeah? But I like this, the metaphor of the song. I like the music but I remember also Paula Bear. Sometimes she's an asshole. Yeah. She said to me, "Do you have seen the movie here by what's the movie? My God, who won the Oscar by Luca?"
The Oscar by?
From Luca.
Lucarno?
No, he won the Oscar. Luca, who also makes Suspiria. What?
Luca Guadagnino.
Yeah, Call Me By Your Name is the name. Yeah, Call Me By Your Name. They used the same song, the same music. She said to me, but 28 days of shooting. Yeah, and I haven't seen the movie, so I remember. But I love this song. I like this, and I changed the music for the credits to Frankie Valli, because I always have to wait later when the movie is done and I have to make my journeys. I always have to wait during the credits. Yeah? And when I don't want to hear this piano piece 100 times in my life, and I prefer to hear Frankie Valli. And on the other reason was this was the only moment in the movie where these two actors and these two characters, the youngs, are free for a moment. There's no script, they're laughing, they feel a little bit ashamed that there's no script, that they are in a real room with their real shame, yeah? And they hear this music and they look at each other in this moment of freedom. Yeah? I want to remind it at the end of the movie.
You mentioned at the time of, more or less at the time you made a fire, in an interview that you could no longer ignore that the number of summers left in life is, let's say, countable. In contrast to youth, when we live.
Sorry about the acoustic. The last sentence.
You mentioned in an interview, at the time you made a fire, that you could no longer ignore that the number of summers left in one's life is countable. It's finite, right? It's not. In contrast to youth, when we live as if it is impermanent. It was an interview to the Financial Times. I just wondered, does that affect your outlook in filmmaking, or did you just need a very stiff drink at the time?
My English is too bad to understand.
Falam só bocadinho mais devagar. Porque
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't want to take too much time. At the time you made a fire.
Yeah,
well,
I understand. This I understand. I mentioned that my time in the world is.
You mentioned that. So it was because of summers, right? That during youth we.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And being.
In contrast to being aware that it's a relatively small number of summers left in life, and you're suggesting that your outlook as a filmmaker had been at the time a little influenced, and I wondered whether you just needed a stiff drink, or.
Yeah, it had something to do with the movie by Francis Ford Coppola, Rumblefish. This sentence by me. Then in Rumblefish. It's a movie that impressed me very much. Yeah? So, and there's Tom Waits in a milk bar, a diner, yeah? And he's working there it's his milk bar, and he's working also there as a waiter. And all these young people, Matt Dillon and Mickey Rourke, and they're in this milk bar, and they're wasting their youth. Yeah. So, and I like wasting. I like it. I love it when people are wasting, and especially in my family, I could be a communist for my father. He's an anti-communist. Yeah? For my father, it's better than wasting your time. Yeah? Be a member of a communist party. It's better to, as if I would say, I want to go dance and then I want to sleep with a joint under a bridge. Yeah? This is. He was very anxious that I will waste myself. Yeah? And Tom Waits in this diner said, these young kids, they waste the summer here and the summer there, and then they are 35 and everything is gone. Yeah? So, but I must say, I like it in cinema to see the wasted summers. I like it when you have the feeling that you don't have to you can throw something away. Yeah? I love it and I love this moment when they understand that this could be their last summer. Yeah? This melancholica. And I think what I'm telling about the birds in the autumn in Germany, yeah? It's so in this moment everybody have a melancholical feeling of the team and also from the actors. Yeah? They know it could be the last autumn. Yeah? And so I like these atmospheres in movies, but I don't know if this was a real answer. It's an answer? Okay. I must say something about the eggs at the porch. Yeah? And also about the music by Frankie Valli. I forgot totally to say that. There's one movie, one of my most, the movies I like very much is The Deer Hunter by Michael Cimino. And in The Deer Hunter, there is a Frankie Valli song, yeah? can't get my eyes off of you. Yeah? This is this song in this Michael Cimino. And when they come back from Vietnam, one had lost his legs, the other has lost his life, and the third one has lost his trust in the world. Yeah? So when they are sitting there with Meryl Streep around their last table, and they have coffee, and they have eggs, and there's a Frankie Valli song. Yeah? And this, so as I thought about myself, it's not a movie about Vietnam, but it's a movie about traumatic structures and traumatic things which happened, and they try as a group of people around a table to live on. This something. Therefore, Frankie Valli is in the movie. Not okay. This was the main reason. I'm sorry. There was a question.
Yes, sorry. Thank you for your movie. It's a very stupid question in comparison to what has been said, but do you leave the choice of the format of the movie to your opérateur, or do you choose specifically this kind of format instead of cinemascope or anything else? And is there a meaning behind it?
It's something to do with eating around tables. Yeah? When you make a movie about families, yeah? Or groups who have a supper, dinner, lunch together, I hate cinemascope. I hate it because you always have Leonardo da Vinci and Jesus and his last supper. It's the Last Supper, yeah. And I don't like it. Because a family has something to do with that people. A family is the structures of a family is something about views. It's about something subcutaneous, yeah, something under the table. Yeah, it's about a rhythm of speak. Who's the leader of the discourse in a family? Therefore, I need a concentration. Yeah, and therefore, the DOPs, the cameraman, always wants to make cinemascope because they think cinemascope is cinema, but this is a wrong decision. Yeah, and I said to him, we make a Western movie and not an Italo-Western movie. I hate them. Yeah? So we make a John Ford movie with a family in the center, and then said, okay, then we do it in 170. Okay.
Thank you for a wonderful movie. We were wondering what brings healing to Laura, to the family. What's the kind of the healing point?
For her or for the family or for both?
Maybe for both.
Yeah, it's a lie. A lie can bring you healing. This is something I have learned in this movie. Yeah? Because on the first day when she awakes in this house of Betty, and she received a coffee and tea and standing there in the porch, Betty says to her, Jelena, and she knows exactly that there's someone in this house who died or something traumatic, but she likes the situation. She likes to be someone else. She likes to have a new identity. And in this movie, she was born by an accident. She received a warm bed. She received the first breakfast, new clothes, a new bicycle. Then there was a weekend without parents. She can stay by herself and take the bicycle and go to her friend. So in 4 days, she has received a new life, a new identity. And it's a lie, she knows it's a lie, but it's great to live in a lie for 4 days. Yeah? And this is that a lie is the basis of healing. I like this. I'm a Protestant, but I like this. One of my favorite books is Moby Dick by Melville, and there's at the beginning the storyteller, the guy who survived all this the whole story, said, "Why all people who have problems, depressions, or are melancholic, going to water? They go to a lake, to a shore, to a river, yeah, as if they can find comfort there, or an answer, or something like that." Yeah, she has suicidal tendencies, I would say. And then she's going down to this ugly burning place there under the highway. And then there is a guy coming on the stand-up peddler in black suits. Yeah? And so this is as if there's if the death, the ferryman of death is coming. And I think this was the moment she has made the decision. No, not yet, yeah, because it's too much. Yeah? So there is a, I know, you know, there's so many romantic German painters of the 19th century. Arnold Böcklin is one of them, and he made a fantastic picture about the ferryman who brings a dead woman to the island of the death. Yeah, it's a fantastic picture. Everybody loves it. Yeah? And we do it there. Yeah, we make a, I forgot the name. We make a stand-up peddler as the ferryman of death. Yeah, so this was our idea. So the death was at the beginning, and it's so when you have the water in front of you. Yeah, it's a little bit like a mirror. Yeah, and in this story, after she has this accident, she's on the other side of the mirror. She's in the life in the world of a dead person. So in this world, she recreates herself, she re-identifies herself. This was the idea. Therefore, the title of this music, Miroir number 3, was not so bad for this movie.
Yeah, it's a movie of mirrors.
I saw many of your pictures, but for me, I forgot also a lot. But this is maybe the happiest film you have ever made. I don't know. It's there is no sadness in this film. There is only gladness. It's at least my view, my point of view of your film.
I was surprised by myself because when we make our first raft edition, yeah, we rent a cinema in Berlin, and the camera, DOP, and the producers and I were sitting there in this empty cinema. And after the screening, the DOP, Hans Fromm, he never says something melancholical, sentimental about his feelings. He's from Bavaria. He's 2 meters high. Yeah? He just needs 3 or 4 words a day, not more. Yeah? So he came to me and said to me, "This movie gives me comfort." And I was really surprised about this sentence. And because he said this in front of all the others, yeah, of the members of the cast, about the members of my the people who worked with me, he was so he gets a rat in his face because he was so shy about the sentence. He never speaks like this about himself and his feelings, but everybody said, "Yeah, that's right, that's comfort." And this was the first time I feel the comfort by myself. Yeah, so I think you're right. It's
there is a lot of drama and
yeah.
sadness and problems in many of your films, not novel films, but in this one, at least for me, it's like there is only happiness.
Okay, this is a good evolution for me. Yeah? If it's like this. Because my favorite author, yeah, I'm reading. When I have problems, I don't go to the sea or to a shore or to a river. I take a novel by Anton Chekhov, and after this novel, I can live on. And a little bit, I hope this movie has something to do with a short novel by Anton Chekhov. Yeah.
One final question.
I have one question. I'm Natalia from LMTA. I want to ask about the boy who died, and what was the idea that you forget so quick this scene or this dying, because it was some moment what felt that maybe it's very also important. But after that, everything was so calm and so down that we forget that even it was an accident.
Yep. the other boy who lives on, he asked her too, your friend died, why you are not so sad? It's something to do with what I mentioned before. In this moment of the accident, she was on the other side of the mirror. She's on the other side of she's had left her old life totally. She don't want to talk about it. She don't want to think about it. Yeah, she has a new identity. And this dead body at this red car, it's nothing to do with her life anymore. It's not something that she's cold, but she wants to restart, like in a computer. She wants to make a restart. Yeah, and he mentioned the dead friend at the end, yeah, when they're sitting there before they have this Frankie Valli song, and she said, I have to be sad, but I'm not sad, because I'm in another world, was the idea. Yeah? It's this mirror thing, that she's in her world, yeah, but there's an outside world. Yeah, and from the outside world, there's a view, a look directly to her. It's a look through the mirror. Yeah, and this two women, they're staring at each other for a moment, and this is a contract. Yeah, this young woman says, "Okay, I'm ready to go to your side," and the older lady says, "I'm waiting for you." This is a little bit like a ghost story. You know, it's a little bit a horror story. Yeah, it's some with supernatural things inside. But if you make a movie like this with horror elements and supernatural things like this, look between these women, everything must be real. The wind, the noises, yeah? The fence, the house, the eggs they eat, the Königsberger Klopse, these meatballs they eat, they must be real, but they're not so real because all the actors nowadays, they're vegetarians because they want to be healthy. Yeah? So they're not eating meat anymore. So we have to use not real Königsberger Klopse, they are vegetables. They're really, the actors say, oh, they are great, and we love that, but I don't believe them. This is awful food, I must say.
Well, there's another one.
I have greetings to my wife there, she's waiting.
Ok. O filme vai estrear-se em salas em Portugal a 15 de janeiro. E, portanto, espero que passem a palavra para que tenhamos muitos espectadores a vê-lo. Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.